Everybody, how's it going? So I am at the 2019 URM Summit in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I came here to ask everybody just one simple question. What's the dumbest thing you've ever seen a client do in your studio?
They hired a photographer to come in while we were tracking, and the photographer, without asking, went behind my console, moved my speakers so he could get a shot of the band. And then, better yet, I went down to the live room where they decided to do band photos without telling me. All the drums and mics were moved out of location, everything was fucked. So that was the worst experience.
Oh boy, that's a good question. Sing backwards into a microphone, so, you know, like the thing, you know, is there, and they're like, and I'm like, hey, well, you sound really fucked up, and I look into the guy screaming backwards, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Dumbest thing somebody has done to my studio was get frustrated and throw my headphones on the floor.
Did you make that person buy you new ones?
Yes, I did.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Never take shit from the clients.
Never.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there and I'm making a record, and like, this guy did not sing the clearest, but I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck's with your enunciation today? Like, I can't hear a thing. He's like, oh man, shall I spit out this dip?
There was this one guy, vocalist in a band, very famous band, not gonna say who was afraid of the dark, and he didn't want to go to the bathroom at night because he was afraid of walking through the area in my house. He was afraid of the dark, like I said. So he had a bottle of water, like a gallon of water, and then another gallon jug for pissing, because, you know, if you drink a gallon of water, you're gonna have to pee. Well, one night, he didn't drink the water. That's the dumbest thing a client's ever done. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, the classic of putting beverages on expensive equipment is probably classified as the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in the studio.
Spill a beer in my drum room, the vocalist naturally, and then as I was cleaning that one up, he went into my rehearsal room and spilled another beer on my nice carpet as he was telling me how to tune my drums.
Ask if it's okay to have his beer out, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Immediately sets it down and walks into the beer and knocks it over.
Not only did she bring a wealth of beer to consume throughout the day, which doesn't help a singer, but on top of that, she brought her tiny little lap dog because I have hardwood floors, so it's like their little nails scratching on, and we did a tender ballad and just yipping and yapping throughout the entire day. But she came from 3 hours away, so like I couldn't turn it away at this point. And needless to say, we got it done, but it took about twice as long.
Charged by the hour?
Yes, it was a day rate, and it ended when I said it was gonna end, so it still worked.
I had a roommate that I have a UPS, you know, to power everything, and the power was going a little funky in and out, and he was getting tired of the UPS beeping, so he just unplugged all my shit.
Showed up to a per-hour session very late while I started charging them, and despite the fact they were late, they stayed in their car and hotboxed it to get high before they came in while paying me to sit and do nothing.
Smoked a cigarette.
I have to think about it.
Can you make my career happen for me? That's probably the dumbest request.
Bring a broken bass, actually.
The guitarist starts playing Instagram videos while I'm tracking vocals.
At one point, I had an assistant and a person brought a gun into the studio, to which he had to tell the guy to go put it out in his car, because why do you need a gun in the studio? And on top of that, do you want to have a gun around lots of people with high emotions?
You know what? Clogged up the toilet.
Probably more mixing. If they love a mix, they're super stoked, and then come back 3 months later with new revisions.
They told me that their worn bass strings sounded warmer and better than their fresh new ones that I just put on, and they were not happy about me changing their strings, especially because it cost them a little bit of money.
Oh, well, what about the person that tells you just how talented they actually are, and they know real talent, and then once they get on the microphone, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Brought people who shouldn't have been there. Don't bring an extra person when I told you don't bring extra people. It's like the most frustrating thing. I luckily have not had people do too many stupid things. I have been in scenarios where people were at the studio where they got kicked out of bands though, so don't do that.
Dumbest tour story I have is the guy who shit in his pants when I was on tour with Stryker and Unleash the Archers and Haley and Prime. Backstage, we were sitting at our last show in California, and there was a dude who just wandered back there, and he like just shit his boxers, and he was just standing there like with shit in his boxers, just for no reason, pants around the ankles, hanging out.
For me, the internal struggles, like power struggles between people, having to play
psychologist and taking time away from the actual project. That's been the biggest problem that I've had in the studio, and like having to take like an hour out of a session just to like make sure that they're getting along and we're being productive.
Dumbest thing a recording engineer's ever done? Not come to the URM Summit!